We're gonna do it that way. I'm gonna fucking make it weird. Alright. Bubble, change of the sound. Trailing my needle. Shaking like a fucking foreign church. And trash. Ooh, sexy. I'm watching the angle of my needles. Clean enough? Are we going? Okay, cool. Can you guys really see? You're not paying attention. You're not close enough. Get tighter.
I'll climb in your back if you want me to, but just at that.
Can you itch it for me? Like, I could use a really good back scratch. It fucking itches so bad, dude. You have no idea. That Marine Corps discipline is fucking kicking in like hardcore right now. Like,
Believe me, I understand. You gotta remember, you tattooed my entire back. I know how it feels.
Hey, you got no shading in yours yet.
I don't have no shading in mine. It still is.
So I'm running at 8.5 volts. It does the fucking job. Planning my next one once you've done 1,000 fucking clouds. Made that adjustment on the fly. Ooh, I'm shaking. I get down on my knees like I'm Tiki. Stay in the fucking chair. No, we don't. How you doing, mate?
Doing alright.
Alright, good. If you start to see stars, little fairies, your upper lip starts to swell a
I
little,
have to
just
say,
let me know so I can
ate
toss
I
out.
ate a very good breakfast. I think it was good.
Good, good, good. The last guy did not. He went to sleep. I probably shouldn't have lined these in black, but I changed my mind. I might regret this at the end of the tattoo, but fuck it, right?
Good enough for the Explorer.
What's that?
Good enough for the Explorer.
I didn't say it. You said it. 5, 7. I'm running my 7. I'm running my hand speed a little bit faster. But we're still getting clean lines. That's that batch of clouds. I'm making the adjustment on this little cloud down here on the fly just because I didn't draw it that much. Should have done better. I'll try it better next time.
I like that. I like it.
I like it. I'm not worried about the lines. I don't fucking care about the stencil. I tell them, fuck it, you miss a line, just keep going outside that fucking line. Jesus Christ. You can use a 7-round liner. Fucking garbage, fucking shit. Why do we buy this shit?
What brand is it?
Stigma. Yeah, just pull the whole fucking needle apart because it won't come out of the fucking machine.
Does that happen a lot?
With that brand, it's 50-50. I break them or rip them apart. We were using the dynamic fucking needles. It's dynamic, you figure? No.
Yeah.
Fucking garbage. Why are you running? Why are you running? You alright? You sore?
My shop in Houston was a supply store, and they made their own cartridges. I could see if I don't know if you said, but I used hers for something was. Oh, I needed tubes, but she didn't have any tubes, so I was waiting for my order. I had an adapter.
That's going to be your turn for you.
No, you're good right now.
Alright, cool.
I'm just looking for quality, but not
Yeah.
fucking outrageous because
I
quadrants are
love
45
her
fucking bucks a
stuff.
box.
Yeah.
Remember? No. We use quadrants. So far, Tritons and quartz at the supply house here in Saginaw have been the only ones that are kind of worth a shit. For my personal preference, outside of quadrants, didn't we fucking have a bad box of quadrants too? Yeah, so it's fucking hit or miss. Sometimes they're great, sometimes they're not.
Yeah, the spades one. The spades were the ones that we had the most issues with.
I use the night and wind for my needles mostly. I like those a lot. And I think it's Envy who I have somewhere.
Who?
I think it's Envy.
Envy, I heard they're okay.
Yeah. Because I just love like the color and the design of products.
I'm trying to get us sponsored by either Helios or Quadrant. Helios, I guess, are pretty good.
No, not. Yeah, Envy.
So I found out a little tip on getting sponsored this weekend while hanging out with everybody. So I might pull a couple little tricks and a couple of calls. They told me to follow a few people and stuff like that to talk to. If I get a sponsor, then we don't have to pay for fucking needles at all. Which would be fantastic. Alright, so I want to go that way and that way. So I'm going to shade my clouds opposite per the eyeball. So if I'm going that way, that's the bottom of the cloud. Wait, top of the cloud? Bottom of the cloud. Why is my brain not calculating what I fucking thought in my head? Fuck it, we're doing normal. We're doing it normal. Top of the clouds. I'm gonna shade the top of the clouds. No. Bottom from top. Bottom from top. This is a curved mag. You guys see how far the needle's hanging out? Yeah. Now I'm not gonna sink that whole set of fucking needles. I'm gonna do the. I'm gonna hold the fucking machine accordingly, not sink. I'm gonna utilize my hand for the fucking depth. What do we? Let's start with beat drop. Beat drop. 4, 8. knows about the trad shit. Start close to the edge of the cloud and work my way out away from it. Quickly. I think my machine takes about 3 or 4 strokes and that shading's in there. As you can tell, I'm not sinking the needle, I'm holding the needle. And I'm arching around the top of that to hit that fucking line. That line is important. No halos, no edges. Now I'm hitting just the edge of my needles and whipping it out. And now we got our nice little shading. Not very much needle strokes going through it. Like a 45-degree angle-ish, more like a 35. Very lightly scratching over the surface at a different angle. Make sure it's saturated. And that's 8 drops. That's in there. So, going into the skin a couple of times, paying attention, the pores aren't open, so I'm still good. 2, 4, 8. You can barely hear that machine even kicking along the edge of that line. Since it is hard lined, I do not want to punch that shader right on top of that line and open that up. I'm now at an angle with that cloud out. I'm instantly just going to go ahead and start hitting it at another angle to get that saturation in there. It's in there. I'm going to turn that right there so I can see the edge of those needles. I'm going to hit the edge of that line that I have a stencil but no line. And then I'm going to slightly scratch. Scratch, 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 scratch right along the other edge. Barely. You hear the machine? Barely hitting that skin. So now I'm not going to overwork it, and I've got that edge very slightly. I'm going side to side, which is a no-no with a bug pen. I need to get the edge of this saturated all the way through. And now I'm right on that edge. How far I want my shading to go is how far I'm going to run my hand along the edge of that. Real nice and soft. You see the little dots, the little pepper. I could stop and it'll give it that trad feel with the dots. But I'm going for a little bit smoother. See how it's fully saturated up here on the top? Now I'm just going to pendulum. I'm making the adjustment because I want to smooth it out. And if you notice, I am barely touching that skin. I'm just looking at the little dots, little bubbles that I talk about. And now I can see that little rake. I can see the little rake. I can go at a different angle right away. So I changed what I'm doing per what I need to do. I'm whipping that out a little bit faster. As you can tell, this stuff is going in. Also, how long have I been running this dip? Now, our little video that I sent everybody. Get those dots. I'm going to utilize that same technique, short strokes. Now pulling, if you pull it wrong, you're going to get a dark edge on the bottom of your shade that you don't want. So this is why you don't really see me pull with the mag. I like to whip or pendulum with my mag. I didn't get that in there all the way. I'm just gonna slightly scratch side to side, right along that edge. Try not to open that skin, and now it's in there. Moving it side to side, you're gonna get that shit in there real quick, so you have to be fucking careful. You will cut them wide open faster than you can fucking pull your hand out. So as I work my way out, if I'm pendulating, slow hand speed, speed my hand speed up. Different angles, sometimes I'll pull if I have to. I'm just doing what I can for my angle of my hand that I can work with. As you can tell, I'm going so light that the shading's not in there all the way. That means the skin's gonna be still healthy. It's for one gonna hurt him a little bit less because I'm going so soft. Now that's fully saturated. See how we're right on that edge? We don't have that little fucking halo around our line work. Paying attention to where these needles are going, and since I have them hanging out and I'm using my hand, I can get right up on that edge and I don't leave that little halo on the edge of my lines. There's my little bubbles. I'm just gonna kind of fucking sporadically, like a crackhead, really quickly, really lightly. Being peppered is fine. Now this tight area, I'm gonna step down. I'm gonna step down into my 4, just so I get that value to smooth out a little bit, but not oversaturate and leave an edge. So I'm going right off the side of the mag. You are gonna see a few streaks down here in the bottom. You know what? I think it looks good, but I did it slow enough that nope, I don't have those little streaks. What did I do next? I think I'm getting darker, or am I getting lighter as I go towards the eyeball? So yeah, we're getting darker. So now that's 8 drops of black. Of course, right now it looks dark as fucking all hell, but we know once it heals, that shading is gonna come down a notch. You can be a good couple, right? 50%, right? 50%.
Hey, go fuck yourself.
What happened? You need water?
What's that?
So what happened? You need water?
No, I thought he was bringing me some water. Like, damn, what a feller. God bless.
No, I don't love you that much.
Well, you should.
I know I should, but
I'm walking around with all this cake, but I know you love me, bro.
So I'm using the edge. I'm not side by side. I'm using, 7 of the needles out of the 11. And I'm rolling the clouds with my shading. Now it's gonna be darker because we are in a higher value, but I'm still working it nice and slowly. So I'm having a fucking hard time getting underneath this fucking leg. Now the skin's open, it's gonna be apt to take the ink a little bit easier. So you have to be careful that you don't overshoot and hit that skin too many times before you whip it out. So it's almost the same value right now because I just wanted to get that skin open. And now I'm gonna kind of whip with a little bit more value for a second pass. This is gonna darken that cloud up, but I got up against that line before I move. And now that the skin's open, I know you guys are like, why is he going so fast when I'm tattooing over there? Once that skin's open, I'm gonna move my hand. I'm gonna get right on that edge because I didn't hit it. And now we still got our smooth blend that we're looking for. Smooth-ish. This is why I'm working my way this way. For one, this is gonna keep him nice and it's all initial skin break. It's not gonna fuck him up too bad to where he's not gonna be able to sit the rest of the tattoo. Because now that I'm done with those clouds, the only portion he's gonna get is at the end when we put the color. So right along that edge of that thunderbolt, I'm kind of using my mag to create that edge, not a line. So that won't be a line. Lines are gonna hold everything in place. That's just gonna be an edge. But it's gonna have our value that we're looking for. 45-degree angle again, whip a little bit. I'm making compensation for the fact that I have the lightning bolt because I know I have to bring a little of my shading here. I'm going right off that line. And I'm going in like a horseshoe or whatever the fuck, a pie or... And now I have that blend that I want. And I need it a little bit lighter, so I'm not gonna go back in there like I did the other side. 45-degree angle, about 6 or 7 of the needles. Speed up my hand speed. Now, I'm whipping off of this line. Smooth that out. It's 50% black, so I want it darker than the clouds below it. So I'm not gonna have a fucking panic attack as I see that it got so dark. Oh my god, it's almost black. No. I want it darker. They're gonna get darker as I go inward towards the eyeball. Edge of the line, whip, 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 whip. And that's basically almost the entire value in one shot. Edge of the mag. Edge of my line again. Work my way down, start speeding up my hand. Trying not to fuck up my eyeball, so I'm going to use my fingers. I know I tell you guys to run your hand, but right now I'm shading. Fingers are okay. So my palm being in that eyeball, as you can tell, I didn't smear my eyeball because I'm using my fingers and not my palm. Stick the mag in there like a paintbrush, right along that edge. Turn my mag sideways, almost 45. Okay, so I'm not losing my stencil again, but we're still using an 11 mag. Nice and light along that line. See how the little tracks are showing up? As I move my hand down while I'm doing that, that allows me to fill the gaps in between the two, or all the different needles. I'm going that way. I'm going to turn along this line. I got that edge. I'm going to go ahead and whip it out. Mario Brothers is going on in my head still, even though I'm talking. I know I got that value on it. So 8 drops, we can see 50%. We can see now when we do the black is going to be black. On the edge of the cloud. Work my way out. Edge of the mag. Whip, nice and slow. Or nice and light, not nice and slow. We're going light enough, we're not destroying this chem. I'm gonna sink it just a tiny bit, get that nice little puddle. Start whipping. I start hitting the other edge of these ones. Just a tiny little bit, just the edge of the needles. Actually doing a little bit of a circle. Got that little break in between our clouds. This one's fucking me up. What did I choose? I think I choose 7 for that. Don't face your fucking shit toward yourself, Michael. Oh, that's why. Trail my needle. I can move a little bit faster because this works. Let's overlap this way. Push my needle. I want this line really fucking light. That's a 5. Don't do that. Come on, motherfucker. You know. Just gonna dip it in there real quick. Now I'm gonna pull this line fast. I'm not worried about it being in there solid. I just need it to hold that line or that ink where it is. Get that motherfucker out of there, back to my 11. So even though we're using an 11 mag, we're still getting our clean shading. I'll just leave it out. I don't have to worry about it. I'm gonna leave a skin break. Skin break for traditional is very important, of course. See how I'm turning the mag to follow the edge of that cloud? That's what what I wanted to do. Left that skin break. I changed my hand around. Going from using my palm to using my fingers. Whipped out that whole cloud all the way down where I want it. I'm going to go right back against that edge of that line. Back and forth in pendulum. So I still need a little bit more value there. And we got that sugar there. And I have yet to get in a hurry. Alright, what are we doing? Solid black for the next cloud, right? Oh, so we did, wait. So we did 50% for the 7, 1 drop of ink? Nope, we're gonna get lighter. That's right. I'm trying to ruin my brain. So I'm gonna do a 1 drop, aka 2 drop, and make them super, super light. Even though we're going super light, I'm going to saturate the value in my machine. Because I know when my tattoo comes back, if I don't saturate it, the value will be gone. The whole cloud, since I put that little edge there, that's just another technique for us to do on our cloud work. Really different value, right? We got 8 drops, we got 50%, and we got 2 drops of ink. So even though it looks like, oh shit, I'm going too dark, you're not. This is going to tone down, I believe I saw 10% at least during the healing process. Once it hits a month, our tone will be done. So this will all lighten up to our values. I still haven't lost my stencil yet, which that's a good thing. All right, getting into the eye here in a minute. So, so since I have this here, I want it to fade in. So I'm going to start my shading down here at the moment. Since I have that lightning bolt right there, I want to create an edge, so as you can tell, I'm going really fucking fast. I don't want too much value there, but I want enough value that that edge stays there. I'm whipping with the side of the mag. That value is going to go in real quick sideways. See how quick that went in there? And I still have the edge of my landing bolt. Really quickly in this tiny little fucking area right here, as you can tell, just scratching it. Scratch, scratch, scratch. Put the value in there. Doesn't have to be super solid because we're going to pack glue around it. And now I can go. I know it looks like I was doing circles, but I keep taking the machine out of the skin. That little puddle of ink that I'm just pushing around is getting picked up and pushed out by that needle, so I don't have to worry about, oh, I need to dip. And now I just push that little puddle all around the edge of my clouds. And there's still ink in the needle, obviously, because it's coming out. Using my fingers so I don't smudge that eyeball stencil. I'll whip that out. There's that value. All right, now we're going to switch our gears into realism. I don't like to line very much of my eyeballs when I'm doing it. You all right, Papacita? I'll give you a break here in a minute. What's that? I'll give you a break here in a minute. On my realism, I want as thin of lines as humanly possible. I'm going to be going back in with these values and shades and everything else, so it doesn't need to be a super solid line. As you can tell, I'm going to adjust myself according to how I need the tattoo with my hands. Luckily, he's got a little meat on his bones. I'm utilizing the machine and my hand to slide along the skin. As you can tell, my speed. Down here, I want that dark edge anyways because of my eyelashes and my shading. So I'm gonna go ahead and pull my eyelashes nice and easy. Whipping each end of my eyelashes so that they come to a nice clean point. Move your leg, twist them hips. Thank you, sir. Each time I get to the end of that line, I'm whipping it. I don't care about the dots. A lot of black ink in one area. I'm going to make the adjustments to my artwork on the fly. Eyelashes get smaller as they go in towards the eyeball or in towards the center of the, in towards the nose. But they do create a small value, so I'm going to keep putting really light ones in there. And as you can tell, I went from rotating out to rotating the other way. Now I can start working my values. Where's our, so what was it saying, 4 drops?
Yep.
So when I'm looking at this picture, my edge, I don't know if you can see that tiki, there's my edge. I'm going to utilize my edge to shade in that direction. That's the direction I want to shade. I've got my little shape, so I've got a shape and a shade. Closest to the nose is the darkest. I'm going to speed up my hands as I get towards the lightning bolt and blend into the lightning bolt. So my value is going to get less. I can either do that with my hand, or I can do it by dipping into my water. So I'm working that edge first. If you can tell, I'm not whipping. I'm arching with my shading. And I did that really light because I started to realize I need to rinse out my machine before I put in the value that I'm trying to put in. So since this is realism, I'm going to try to get those little dots to go away. I'm going to start speeding up my hand. And the motion that I'm going in. Now I can dip into my 2 drop. And I'm gonna whip. I'm gonna get my edge again, right along my edge. I need to create that edge. I need to leave a little bit of light value against that next edge, because that's going to be another value. So even though it looks dark at the moment, now as you can tell, we went from our darkest value down to our lightest value. And now I believe we step up into the 50%. And I'm gonna do the same thing. I'm just gonna create this shape. This is all I'm looking at right now. This little weird shape under her eye. You could rinse it out, or you can just dip it in the 50% if you need to. If you notice, I've been dabbing him, and since I've been dabbing him, I have only been, I have not put any water on my napkin, paper towel, whatever the fuck you want to call it. First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to create that edge very lightly. As you can tell, I'm going to whip that edge. And now I'm going to start working this value inward towards the eyeball. Pendulum, nice and soft, nice and easy. Right off of that edge. See how I'm moving my hand? I'm not really moving my hand, but I'm moving my wrist down so that I can get those I can get the value to come this way. Now I'm going to go against the bottom edge of the eye and work my way inward. While slightly working my way down and speeding my hand up as I go towards it to give it that rolling effect and not the line. I might wipe them a little bit there so you have those lines. I don't want those lines there, so when I bring my value down off of the eye, I'm going to start to blend that in. I'm working that whole edge of the bottom of the eyeball. Very lightly. As you can tell, I'm not putting much stretch into it. And now I'm going to kind of 45-degree angle and try to pick that shade up with the rest of my shading on the eyeball while speeding up my hand speed. As you can tell, nice, soft shading. Now I can start working from here, but now I'm working over the top of my eye. I don't want to do that. I want to work my way inwards so that I don't lose my stencil. So I'm going to grab my liner and get these other eyelashes in real quick. I'm going to use a 7-round liner this time. The bottom ones we used a 5. I want my top lashes a little bit thicker. And I'm going to line this also over the top. Moving my body completely so that I can do what I have to do. He's got plenty of ointment on him. Elbows going out, hands not moving in anywhere, shoulders coming out. And that line is in there nice and clean. So pushing my arm and using my shoulder as my pivot point, not my wrist. I'm trailing my needles here on the edge and going quickly because they're lighter lashes. And I'm going to start slowing down on the ones that I want to be more prominent. My needle's not hanging out enough. I'm whipping the end of each one still with a 7-round liner, so they're going to be a little thicker and be a little darker. Tell my hands doing the same motion, so I'm just going line by line. Putting the line in, as you can tell I'm traveling. The lines are going to start to change angle on the eyeball because the lashes start to roll over the other way. Mixing left to right. And then I lifted my hand a little bit. As you can tell, I'm dabbing the fuck out of it because I don't want to smear all of my patterns. Okay, so we have a white lid or lip on the eye. I want that to be skin tone. It can be highlighted with the highlighter if you want, but most of the time you only put your highlight in the pupil to make it look wet. So I'm going to utilize that edge with my values that I'm seeing. Take a breather, Logan. So as you can tell, I haven't fucking hurried this tattoo not one fucking bit, but we're already on the fucking eyeball and clouds are shaded. This is exactly how I work my tattoos. Nice and easy, nice and slow. That's what's going on in my head. I'm trying to verbalize so that you guys can see like, hey, this is what's going on in my brain. Ask her, I start tattooing and I just, where'd he go?
Literally have a video of my baby sister, I call her my baby, she's 2 years younger. But the first time I tattooed her, she's like tripping dick the whole time. And I told her, I was like, you can't fucking move. As soon as I put a line in, you can't like tense or flinch, like, can't move. And so she's like, oh my god, move this, but like and that's how I want to record it. But as soon as I start my face, I'm like laughing at her and I drop. Like I drop and I focus and like hone in. And it's just like the world can be on fire and I don't fucking know.
Yup, the world could be fucking coming to an end and it's just like, I've got something to do.
But I'm doing this right now.
Alright, I'm gonna smoke a cigarette and then we'll get right back into it.
I think I'll my
breathing the whole
blue collar.
You get back in to go home.
Yeah.
So when's a good time to sit down and kind of talk about what you want to do percentage wise?